It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but right now, you're rocking with Noonish.
I feel like I'm the last man standing. 4-5 sitting on my dresser like a bandit. Oh my, why you scared? There ain't no need to panic. I ain't on a wave that could sink the Titanic.
Staying in shape, especially when I run out of booze, I gotta run to the liquor store. But I never go anywhere without my shot sock. That's right, the shot sock. You might think it's funny, but, well, it is funny. Enjoy the shot sock for the man in your life who wears socks.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Noonish. Very excited to bring this awesome guest to you guys today. Goodness. We're going to have some fun. So, Jonas is in the old sip. You know, he ran 50 miles last week, came back home and ran right back. You know?
I got my Dallas background, though.
Yeah, I see you, man. But yeah, man, before we get started, I got to introduce myself. I'm your host, Jonathan Anderson, a.k.a. J.A., with our awesome co-host, El Grande Toro, Jonas Bull, coming from the SIP.
Coming from the SIP, live.
And half man, half amazing. All hands, all fun, all night long, all day long.
All day long.
Mr. Mark Clayton in the house.
Let's get it.
Man, and our special guest co-host, Miss Paola Saibene.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Man, we're so happy to have you today. This is going to be a very educational show for me. Y'all ain't gonna hear me say too much. I'm gonna be listening a whole lot, right? Because we're talking about digital ethics and privacy and security and the difference and why it's necessary. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So tell me, what have you been up to, Paula? You know, been around the world and back again.
Right? In a very exciting year, yes.
Yeah. 2020 was crazy for everybody.
It was crazy and painful for so many. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that overlays kind of how we look at things and people, and even in a topic like digital ethics, being mindful of what the whole world has gone through and in various stages, whether it's jobs or health or socioeconomic impact or so it has touched us all in so many different ways.
Yes, it has. So what did you find yourself doing with all that, free time at home, or was there much free time?
No free time.
Really?
No, very engaged, contracts, and then actually starting a new job on Monday. So delighted about that.
That's awesome.
Working with Techneo and Data Solutions. They do a lot of data work, obviously, and great people, so looking forward to that. And in the topic of digital ethics, we still kept on going with the Center of Excellence for Digital Ethics at DBU, and kind of got the students more and more involved and got them thinking about all of the things that were happening throughout the year and how that affects how we use data sets, how we think about privacy, and the impact that it has in the long run, not just using it at the moment.
All right.
So how was the introduction to DBU? Just bringing this whole, because you are the founder of the Digital Ethics, the Center of Excellence, right? How did that conversation even start? Is it something that you presented to them, or did they come to you and, y'all figured it out?
We had, so the head of the program is Sharon Gori-Kapudi. He is the head of MSITM in Dallas Baptist. And he invited Jennifer Sanders. You might know her. She's very involved in the Dallas community now with all of North Texas with innovation and smart cities and a whole bunch of efforts associated with that. So Jennifer came to the class seeking to find students to get a capstone project. And it was data related. And I thought, well, we could do that. We could do so much more. Why don't we just create a center that has the students think in depth in a way that doesn't normally get requested from their jobs or from other classes, and have them reflect on not just the governance of data, but the long-lasting impact on the people to the extent of how does it affect how we see reality, right? Which is something that then you pass on to your children or to the little ones that grow up already in this era. They begin to see things. I mean, they already go and touch screens thinking that everything is going to move, right?
No doubt.
So that alone tells you how much and how far we have come in digitalization, and how we need to measure, govern, think about each step. And not every innovation effort is fantastic. A lot of them are just not good for various reasons, but more importantly, many of them have not been thought through in terms of proportion.
Oh, yeah.
So what is the benefit, what is the advantage, as opposed to the potential disadvantage and the danger.
That kind of makes me think of a lot of these athletes that, you know, when they're younger, 17, 16, they go on Facebook and have this post. And then they get drafted, you know, 6, 7 years later. And now things that they were doing when they were kids and saying catches back up to them. And now their draft stock falls. Or, you know, now they're questioning if this person, you know, they're wondering if, is this guy who he says he is? Or is it just a front type deal? You know?
Sense that think about the fact that when we're dealing with each other, there's a lot that we may have or have not done in the past. And then that, when you get to meet the person, you can say, well, this was me before, this is me now. And that kind of gets forgiven, right? There's that element of mercy, new chapter, we move on, etc. Digitally speaking, it is not. So digitally speaking, it is there in perpetuity.
Yeah.
And much more so when you put it in the blockchain.
Yes.
So in a manner that does not get erased. So then what happens from a human perspective?
Got you.
How
Kind
does
of
that
like
change how we
analytics,
see people?
right? It's not allowing, you know, when you go strictly about analytics, you're not adding that human element that we talk about all the time, right? So
To complete the picture, right?
So I got a question. With digital ethics, are we talking? Are we coming from us as the engager with the digital platforms, or the digital platforms and what they do with our engagement? Both.
Right?
Okay.
So as a citizen of this world, right, as a person of this world, you are a product, you are part of a service, depending on the platform that is utilizing your data. You're a consumer. You're also the creator of data. And do you know the roles and responsibilities of each? And do you have a say when you are the product? Or when you are part of that service? Why not have a say? Why not get engaged? So at DBU, we promote being part of communities of engagement that at least asks a lot of questions. And then by virtue of asking the question, people say, I never thought about that. And now we get into a more meaningful dialogue. Maybe that course corrects some things. And foundationally, it depends on people understanding that we don't all have a sense of what's right and wrong. Right? So it's very interesting to see the students come to the class and they all say, well, ethics is about what aligns with the law. Okay, so let's take that path. Has the law changed over the years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yes. Okay. So is that like anchor or like a castle in the sand? Well, more like a castle in the sand. Okay. So let's go down the other path. Well, ethics, they'll say, is what is moral. Okay. Based on what?
Because if we go to Africa,
that kind of Papua New Guinea, China, etc. So very different perspectives. So that kind of falls too. Then they go down the path of, well, whatever society says that is good or that is bad. Okay. That has even more of a rate of volatility.
Yeah, that's a big can of worms.
Right?
Yeah.
So at Dallas Baptist University, we do have the privilege of being able to map that to the Bible, to the Word of God, right? And that's a privilege that doesn't happen in many universities. It's dear to my heart. But if you are not a believer coming to Dallas Baptist to get your education, my goal with that class is for you to discover what it is that your framework of reference is.
It's really
right?
good.
And then to question that and say, is it solid? Is it not? Why not? And that exercise alone just blows their mind.
Yeah. It would blow everybody's mind.
Sure.
Right?
For sure. Well, before we dive too deep, we want to come back.
What is the meaning of no.
Can you kind of let everyone know, a little bit about your past and just things that you've done, prior to.
I want to know if
where
you
we
were
are
an
now,
athlete at some
right?
point. Because you look like, man, you was on the basketball court or something. I don't know.
No, gymnastics and that's it. And
Yeah.
ballet.
Nice. Ballet. Ballet's tough.
But let's see. I started academically as a philosophy major, which I think has permeated throughout.
Yep.
Then I became a literature and linguistics professor, got my master's in that, and I taught literature and linguistics. Then I became a psychologist.
Nice.
So I worked in psychiatric wards, pretty intense units in the military. And then I have 25 years of pure tech. So I had a couple of careers before, and then I entered into technology, and I took with me the backpack of psychology, which was very interesting to apply into tech, and of course the communication of the literature side, which was also useful. But tech, of course, was a field that actually paid me more than the other two combined at the time. So this was 25 years ago.
I can relate to that as an
I
anthropology
could get that
major,
Subaru, right?
It pays more to suppress emotion and engage with products that don't care about how you feel.
For sure. That's crazy.
That's a deal
They
with
just a
other
little
people's
more.
emotions.
So it was a good path, and really was very blessed. I worked like crazy, so most of my life has been spent working, but feeling like it was a calling.
Yeah.
So, and especially in my days, I come from the days of tech where you had to do everything.
Mhm.
So you had to know how to cut the cables, and you had to know how to program in the applications and in the software, and you had everything in between.
Yeah.
Now it is a lot more compartmentalized. And then I rose to several positions, C-suite positions in very large places. And it was at one time I had a few thousand people that I managed. And it gave me a very broad view that the problems that you encounter with managing 3 as opposed to 3,000.
The psychology
volume.
helped quite a bit with that, I'm sure. You know, just being able to.
So many different personalities,
Understand,
so many different
And yet,
households that
the
come
same
into
thing.
work.
Yet the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
yet
I
that's
learned,
crazy.
as opposed to what we see more, I think now in Texas, which is if something doesn't work well, we kind of change teams and we course correct. I am accustomed to working with teams where you couldn't change them, right? Because then they would have nowhere to go. So you couldn't just say, you're not working out. We'll work with you.
Off with your head.
We will work with you.
Yeah.
So it was a good training ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And I know Jonas has quite a few questions, man. I know he's like over there chomping at the bit to get after it right now, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to give you guys a chance to chat there, but you had mentioned talking about kids and you know, Mark brought up the case of somebody posts something when they're okay.
Seemed like
We're back.
a little bit.
You're back.
Calling for access to the internet to be recognized as a basic right. And so, you know, in the context of children and young people do dumb things sometimes, do we think that internet access is something that should be a basic right, that should start early as, you know, I have a daughter that I argue with a little bit about how, you know, she has a daughter that she's given access to her phone and to internet, and you know, it's you know, I kind of push back about that a little bit because I'm old. But is that a reasonable thing? Is that something we should be doing, or
digging a little deeper into that, labeling rights associated with a tool? I think that the intent is to go deeper. So access to a platform or access to communication with other people from all over the world, of any shape, size, geography, etc. Let's bring it to the physical world. How do we put guardrails on children on that? Well, the parents might say, yes, you can talk to so-and-so. No, not to so-and-so yet until you're older. You can do certain things, yes or no. So the tool just magnifies any crack in that design. and it amplifies it to the point of greater danger, but it's still a tool. So I think the issue at hand is how much time do the parents have to monitor? And with parents that have 2 jobs, or parents that are leaving it to school to educate because they don't have, we've caused more problems and now get amplified by the kind of enormous power of the tools we have at hand, including AI.
Yeah. There was a Instagram post, and it's wonderful. I'm crazy on Instagram. Anyway, as a kid, and in the background you hear his mama saying, "I didn't raise you like that," and then the kid's like, "Well, you're never home anyway, so who really raised me?"
Yeah, the
and
iPad.
then he paused.
I was just about to say that. These iPads and these phones.
And their friends.
Yeah, and friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
The society that they end in, what they're looking at.
But how many people actually sit around, like in the older days, on the front porch while you have your coffee or iced tea and talk about these things? There's no time.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I notice in my classes, their parents too, that come to the graduate courses, I notice that the power of reflection is withering because there is no time. They're making decisions quickly. They make 100 decisions a day with 10 meetings plus driving plus. Right? So we actually need that deep thinking layer to be able to make some wise decisions along the way and have discussions, and there's hardly any time.
Man, I sit back and try to remember what I used to do when we didn't have all this technology and my parents were both working, or my mom's coming home at 5:30 and my dad's at work or whatever, and 2 hours of myself. And
what was I doing?
It's like, what was I doing? Was I outside? Like, I don't remember, but I try to think about those things because these kids, it's a little different now. The parents can be in the room and the kids are still on the phone or on the iPad or the laptop or something.
Oh, absolutely, me too.
Yeah.
That's how I'm terrible.
So it's like
my kids still be playing with the thing. I'll be playing with my phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, okay.
Texting each other, like they're upstairs, you down, you texting. Like, hey, come wash the dishes.
I have been known to text my son from the next room and ask him what he wants to do. But so recently, somebody that I read occasionally, Maggie Kurth, who's on Medium, wrote that, and she was speaking specifically about the last year of coronavirus and all the stuff that went along with that. But she talked about how individual decision making is like the Dutch boy with his finger in the dike. I don't know if you know that, but there's the guys, like there's a hole in the dam and he's trying to hold the water back and he can't leave to go tell somebody because he's holding the water back from the dam. So in this version, he's also slowly losing his mind. That was the rest of her quote. But the thing is, like, as you pointed out, the problems, the interaction, the ethical interactions that we have are not really new. We've been dealing with them for decades or centuries or millennia in a lot of cases. But you use the word magnification, and I like to use the word acceleration, that under the forces of increasing, network effects and increasing demands and all of these different things that technology brings us, we find that things are skewing off unpredictably in these weird and often undesirable directions, and that acceleration, or as you said, magnification of these the holes in how we deal with things. I'm the kind of person who can see the value of magnifying and identifying a mistake so that it can be corrected. But how do we deal with this? How do we roll back a little bit and deal with the cognitive load that this puts on us as parents, as citizens, as workers, or just day-to-day life, where we have so many distractions and so many things asking us to make these informed decisions that are so much more than what we can, are really meant to be able to handle, it seems.
I think that we need to remember we have choices. We still have choices, right? We don't think of it sometimes because the influx of persuasion is so strong. Even just getting here on the road with a GPS, I'm like, I'm going to read the directions and just go without the GPS. I made a couple of loops, but it was a choice.
You learned.
So the whole string of not pausing to think about it, remembering we have the choice, allowing ourselves to have the convenience steer us in our behavior. And we can't have our cake and eat it too. We can't have privacy, full security, and the convenience of letting everything be brought up to our eyes through whatever device for suggestions or for consumption.
Yeah, that's right.
But we need to be having these dialogues and say, oh, let me pause. Maybe I don't need to have these 19 things in front of me. Maybe there are 2 that I really care about, and I'm just going to let go on the consumption of those and give it a try and see how your life changes after that, and maybe you like it. Or maybe you go back and you become fully connected, but it was really your choice to do so, and then you can't complain if your data is proliferated everywhere and to the degree that it is.
Yep.
So I think we hear a lot the message digitally that, well, that's just the way it is, privacy is dead. I mean, it's just, data is everywhere.
That's what Mark said.
No, it's not. Huh? It is. But you can delete the app. You don't have to be on.
Yeah.
But the data is already out.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the app or no app, it's let contrast for a moment Europe. Not that I'm promoting a lot of things that Europe does, but in this case, they got the GDPR right, which is a privacy regulation that came out a couple of years ago. And some of the regulations that we have in the United States related to privacy. The GDPR has a couple of very key components that are important and unusual. It's got the concept of contextual privacy. And an example that I like to use that I copied from the guidelines is there's a difference between having an email address and a name in a list that is for marketing. Like, you're going to get this brochure. The same group of people that are HIV positive, just email address and name. Now it's a sensitive category, right? As opposed to the first one. It's still the same 2 fields,
right?
But the sensitivity is based on where it lies. Europe also has created that law in such a way that makes me think of, and these are my words, in Europe, data is something that you are. At home here in the US, data is something that you possess.
Right.
So when you possess data, if you lose it, if it gets maligned, if it gets stolen, whatever, you deal with it in a certain way. But when you are that data, you're going to scream louder. It's like affecting a limb, affecting a leg, right?
Yeah.
So it gets a little closer. And now the reaction is going to be more severe. And that's what I think has been the result of this law. It's many years of writing it and the result of really understanding what happened in Second World War and why they were able to get to so many Jews and others associated as a result of having those databases and being able to collect that information. So they remember that, and there is an infusion of that in the law. But here we haven't had those experiences, and we come from an angle of trust. And that trust, once it gets violated, we forgive it and forgive it and forgive it as a whole, right? So consumers might complain. You see California with the CCPA, another law in privacy saying, wait a second, here and no farther, and your other states as well. But as a country as a whole, we're still trusting. And that is going to get us into trouble if we don't think about whether we want to trust or not explicitly.
Right. Well, just to push back on and admittedly the UK is technically moving towards not being part of the EU anymore, but they were at the time. But the UK has a law. I forget the acronym for it exactly, but they call it the Snooper Law. But they've been building and testing this surveillance technology that if it scaled to the level that they want to scale it to, it could log and store all of the web browsing of every single person in the country, which then could easily become all of the interactions of every single person in the country, which is almost seems to me that it's the opposite of what the GDPR
I agree.
is meant to do.
I agree completely. You see that in several countries, and
China.
That's the one
leader. They're the leader.
And Russia as well. But in Europe itself, it just leaves a paradox, right? So you, on one end, you have this written carefully, and then under the guise of or under the umbrella of health or public safety or these other things, then it just from the side and it collects everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you open the door to that? I mean, especially here, we are probably the most spoiled of people in the world, and so if they say, "Hey, we don't like pain, so this is going to make your life better or more convenient or easier, and so on and so forth," we're more likely to say, "Cool, you can have it."
Yeah.
Just
no resistance.
Take it off my plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's there's a price to be paid with that.
Indeed, on the back end.
So on your phone, do you
when they close the gates and all the
other
sheets
day.
are in there.
I don't. So I don't have location services, and he was trying to force me to do that just to when I was a little lost coming.
Okay, I'm taking
The last couple of
notes right now. You know? I'm
So
trying
for
to
all
figure
y'all
out
out
how to
there,
switch up. You know?
Turn off that location service if you try not to be found. Like,
Well, you can still. I mean, there are many ways
good.
still to track.
Absolutely.
But I
Yeah, if
stay
you
a
got
couple
this-
of versions behind on the phone. I turn off as much as I can, and I know that it's still. People say, "Well, you've got nobody has anything to hide." That's not the point.
no
The
doubt.
point is that you should be able to have a choice,
Yes.
right? Whether you want everything to be known about you or not.
Exactly.
One of the examples that I give in class is if I put an individual in front of you that accompanies you morning, day, and night, everywhere you go, isn't that a little creepy?
Oh,
Say,
yeah.
well, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what's
That's
happening.
right now.
And more than one.
How many people take their phone to the bathroom with them?
Right.
Exactly.
Man,
I thought it was crazy.
Next time somebody
when-
hands you their phone to show you something, just keep that in mind.
like just show me.
You hold it
No, man.
from a distance.
But
seriously though, we have a legal principle in this country of that's called reasonable expectation of privacy. And in a connected world where you're carrying your phone into the restroom and the bedroom and the job interviews and boardrooms for that matter, what happens to a reasonable expectation of privacy when you've got Facebook and Axiom and allegedly by some people Alexa from Amazon that are listening in on everything?
Mm-hmm.
There are some regulations in place depending on your industry, especially like in state by state. You can have some recordings happen in some state and not in others. But take a look at the 2015 CISA law, and it was the privacy
was it?
world.
2015.
2015 CISA.
CISA. Okay.
And the privacy world in the U.S. just pushed back heavily because they called it a surveillance law. And it went through a lot of battles from citizens, but it passed very quickly, and it was actually bundled into a budget bill at the end of the year. And it had with it a whole bunch of other things, so you couldn't really take it out, and it just passed. But it has a lot of ambiguity, allowing for those doors to be open. And the sharing of information.
Man.
So, do you know any really good hackers that can set up like our own servers and we can have our own network, or even drones, and send it up, and then we can.
Actually, I don't know much about this, so I'm not promoting it by any means. I just heard there is a place called Quartal.org, and they're trying to create a new internet, if you will. From scratch, not open source, all of it is their code. It is tied to the blockchain to some extent to have it be again the way it was supposed to be in the beginning. So if you're interested, Quartal, Qortal.
Qortal.
And I haven't gone in myself to take a look, but I just heard about it recently. And people are trying to.
You've mentioned blockchain a couple times now, and I know we're all very much so interested in blockchain and digital currency and everything. So what are your thoughts around the moving towards the digital currency from the current?
Wow, that's a very loaded question.
It is.
That's
a lot.
I am not an expert in blockchain, so let me just start with that. But the platform is independent from the currency. And this, in very basic terms, is meant to take away that middle entity that regulates. But the way it is getting implemented in some countries actually has the government right back in, regulating portions of it with laws. You see it in Malta, you'll see it in other countries. And the way that banks are leveraging also has that layer back in it. So other than moving it to a very digital space, and if you're talking about blockchain and not the mesh, so you have the mesh folks like the Hedera hash graphs with a very tight security
Private.
And
It's like a private
what
layer.
exactly are we doing? What is that? We're headed there, so that it's going to happen. But let's analyze the benefit of each aspect of it carefully. And I don't think that from a business perspective or a layman's perspective, that has been understood
Heck
by
no.
people.
No, absolutely not.
Right?
Yeah. I was having a conversation earlier, just in the space, but if there was 100 people that I came into, engagement with, maybe 4 or 5 are going to be able to go into somewhat of a deeper level in regards to what's happening.
Yeah.
But no,
Even the
majority of people
difference
know.
with the chain and the mesh, the dynamic mesh, I think that that's much more interesting. But I go back to that very basic aspect of what is it going to be connected to right away. And I think that if you're listening or you're following up with some of the world entities that want to connect it to education very quickly, that want to connect it to services, governmental services, then what happens with mistakes along the way there? What happens in genuine blockchain mistakes, not people's mistakes? How do you unlock something like that efficiently and not have it become a digital panopticon, a digital prison, if you will.
Of sorts, yeah.
And I like to refer to the digital panopticon because I think that is a reference from the late 1800s or 1700s. Panopticon.
Word of the day.
Word of the day is
We'll
panopticon.
Yes.
Look it up because I know you need to.
Right. All right.
I was like, did she say panopticon?
Did you say panopticon?
Panopticon, yes.
Binoculars?
No.
No, not binoculars, Oscar.
Man. That's a $5 word, man.
That's a $5 word.
Well, that brings up another question. Blockchain and the example I will use specifically is Bitcoin. That to lead me to another question that I want to ask because I'm going to make it all about me. These things that we talk about doing, whether it be blockchain or telehealth is a big word that gets kicked around a lot here lately. These things don't just happen in the cloud, and Bitcoin, for example, uses somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 or 800 kilowatt hours to do one transaction. That's right.
Yeah.
Which probably doesn't mean much to most people. I had to think about that a bit to figure that out. But so let's say that some estimates say that Bitcoin is using more energy than the Netherlands and Argentina and the United Arab Emirates combined.
Michael Jordan, the whole year of '96.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So and I guess the question that I would throw out there is thinking about these externalities of our digital footprint and the things that we do. Would you consider that to be part of our of the suite of what we would call digital ethics?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We have to be consistent and open and fair, that if we are promoting something on one end that is going to consume so much energy, and we're beating up the cows in California for passing gas, right? Because
that's it. Yeah.
It just makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Right?
Yeah.
So
sweet little cows.
It just Can we at least be very honest that it doesn't make sense to declare certain stances when we're not going to honor them? But we're not allowed to have those discussions very openly. No. Because then somebody's going to get offended.
Exactly. Nobody's going to own their own hypocrisy.
Yeah, who's it benefiting? What's the benefit?
I'll just tell you everything good about what I'm doing.
No one makes anything from cow gas.
They could, but as Mark pointed out, they could. Like so many people don't have the background. You know, the way that we do things now, we don't have the background to be able to have those discussions in public forums. Yeah. I mean, how many legislators, like, I'm not going to name any names, but there are some legislators who think that they can get away with escaping their constituency in the middle of an ice storm and nobody's going to notice.
Man.
While
go to Cancun?
Just as an example, just throwing an example out of the air.
An example. I.e.
And nobody would, so, I mean, can you expect that those people are going to be able to have informed discussion about blockchain and externality effects of things that are 2 and 3 and sometimes 4 orders?
We can't have the dialogues. Is that even if they try, the way that we have, and this was explained to me some time ago and I thought it was spot on, so it was not my idea, but we have developed digital tribes, not organically necessarily, but by virtue of how our data has been analyzed. So you're going to be paired and grouped with like-minded. So if you like green shirts, all of the green shirt people are going to pop up in your digital network. And how are we going to learn from each other? How are we going to expand and stretch them?
Because we all like the same things.
In the old days, we could sit for a cup of coffee and debate, and you could be completely in opposition. And say, well, I want to know why.
But it's good.
And maybe we changed 10%, 20% of what we thought by virtue of learning. That was precious.
Yeah. Creates a lot of closed-minded people.
Without even them thinking or wanting it. You just don't have access. So now you have to spend hours of your day stretching, forcing yourself to get out of the digital tribe and see how you can learn from the other side.
We call that algorithms, right?
Yes. And now it takes extra effort. Where would you even start looking?
Right.
And as Mark,
you start with understanding that your view is siloed anyway.
Well, and as Mark pointed out, anything that requires pain or effort is going to be outsourced.
Limited. It's like,
absolutely.
You mean I got to read like all that?
Hey, strengthen your strengths. Strengthen your strengths and delegate your weaknesses.
Well, I mean, I'm an information junkie. I'm an informationaholic, so I love.
That's why you're cool. That's why you're awesome, Jonas.
That's why you get to wear that headband and it looks awesome.
That's right.
30 years ago, I could still get access to about 25 newspapers, and I used to do this as a habit, 25 newspapers a day from around the world.
Oh, that's
and amazing. I would just scan different languages, and I would get a sense of what was happening in a house from what they were saying. It was just precious.
That's awesome.
And then as the years went on, I would say maybe 10 years ago, they all started sounding the same. So there was almost no point in going. Now you had to go to the local papers or the local blogs.
I would be like, who owned those papers?
Exactly.
They come back.
Well, and the local papers.
Disney. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but there's only a handful of people. Right. And then what conference happens during the year where probably the owners of those papers go to
in
together?
A very mountainous place.
Yes,
absolutely. And by the way, there's a reset.
Right? Yeah. I heard Georgina talking a little bit about that in some little capacity. Yeah, a little bit.
That's incredible. But no, this is all great stuff. Man. And I hope y'all learned something because I'm learning right now. Taking mental notes. I'll be writing it down here a little bit, turn off my location services. Right.
FBI man ain't fighting.
But no, Paul, this is all amazing. Like this stuff scares me, Like honestly, like I think that's why a lot of people don't like to address these topics and address these issues because
very true.
They're fearful of what's happening and what's to come.
Yeah, that's too much.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
But that's a muscle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So to
That's a good point.
everyone that says, I don't know, it's either too painful or too scary,
Yeah.
start slowly.
Yeah.
Develop the muscle to know,
Yes.
to understand, to endure.
Yeah.
You're going to need it.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that influences your choices.
Yes. And
Knowledge,
the more you develop that
understanding,
muscle, the more you
information.
tolerate in terms of learning information. And there's nothing new under the sun. It just has a different flavor, a different color.
Oh, yeah.
But
Come on now. You gonna preach today too? Like,
Hey,
okay.
you know, I'm one of those people. If something scares me, I'm drawn to it. Like I need to. Why am I know guys got me. You know, but yeah, why am I drawn? Why is this bringing fear in me? I'm curious now.
There you go.
Right? Now I have to learn about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So
That's good.
no, this is all great. This is all great.
You're
thank
rare, J.A. But
Hey, you know, you already know, man. You already told me, you know, I'm a rare Cowboy fan. That kind of gives you a little insight, you know,
hey man,
into my psychology, right? But no, so this has been great. We are sports and tech.
Forgive me. Yes.
Tech and sports.
Now move on
do
to
not
real
apologize.
Tech and
stuff.
sports. No.
do not apologize.
You know, because the tech, this
Yeah.
is like
This is-
Super Saiyan right now. You know, I don't know if you're Dragon Ball Z, but I got blonde hair and blue eyes right now. I just got real bulky on. You know,
Oh,
I'm blue
man.
right now. But
I know that
but
was
no,
some
so
knowledge.
now we get to give you a little information about the
Please.
sports. You might not even forget
Educate
about
me.
it as soon as you say it. You know,
something.
but yeah, you know, we do have to tap into the sports audience, right? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of interesting things going on right now in the sports world.
Yes, it is.
And I guess we can start with March Madness,
Yeah,
right? We
yeah.
we got our brackets going.
We got brackets going.
You know, we got brackets
Yo,
going.
you just sent me the bracket. I had to print it.
No, man, just tell me who you got, man. Tell me who you got, and then next week we'll show what that looks like. You know, when your people fall out of line.
You know what? So for me, I know. Well, okay, my team. I've watched Gonzaga
Yeah.
couple times. They were totally dominant, and they have everything. And
But they got a heavy West Coast schedule, don't they?
not even worried about that. They're West Coast ish.
You know, the West Coast was shut down during 2020, so couldn't nobody practice.
That's fine. These guys are special.
Hey, they got to play against
These guys are
Alabama
special.
defense. They've been
That's
practicing
gonna be
since.
tough.
Been like the pandemic never occurred.
That might be tough. They'll win by 5.
Yeah.
They'll win by 5.
So they're that dominant.
I think they're that dominant.
Really.
On the outside, off the bench, and in the middle too. Our old buddy in the middle is he's a problem.
Yeah.
But my two teams that I would put that say like, all right, if somebody was going to win that's not a number 1 seed, I would go with Houston because they're tough, they're long, and they play deep. Like they about that defense, and I would probably go with Baylor, which they're a 1 seed, but they're not the top seed.
Yeah.
Baylor, Houston.
Yeah. I want to hear Jonas's picks in this one. And I want to hear some logic behind it too.
You know, I don't even know that
The algorithm.
Right. Yes. Exactly what happened.
He's got his stats.
I am so far out of the loop on NCAA that my top pick is going to be JSU.
Yeah. Oh, Deion Sanders' football team.
You're picking the football
Well,
team.
no,
to
I was
win
actually
the March
thinking
Madness.
the JSU. So I'm going to go way out there and be completely off base, but the JSU women's basketball team is hammering people right now. So I mean, I know that doesn't fit into the bracket in any way.
They got zero chance of winning the men's bracket.
Zero chance.
Like zero.
But
it's damn near zero to win the women's bracket too, by the way. Jonas.
It's in a virtual reality.
It's just, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you got me crying right now, man.
Jonas.
That's my fantasy basketball team.
Yeah. All right. Now we got to pay attention to JSU women's basketball.
Yeah, man. So you
Who
did
you
name
got?
one of my
Who you
teams. Baylor. I see Baylor going far.
Yeah.
And Man, Michigan, bro. I like what's going on with Michigan right now.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
like what's going on with Michigan. I like their Jonas is seriously got me crying right now.
He's this
Like, seriously, bro.
They lost one of their top guys. I can't remember his name. Number 5, light skinned kid. Can't remember his name, but they lost. He's out for the tourney, bro.
That's why I got Baylor. Is my top dog.
Okay.
But I still, you know how you can rally around a teammate's injury, right? And
True.
I think Juwan Howard is doing a heck of a job out there, bro. And
He is doing a great job.
It's kind of wild not to see Duke
Isaiah Livers.
in the tournament. Oh yeah, he's
That's
an
gonna be
animal
tough,
too.
bro.
Yeah, it is.
He's a dog.
It is
on both sides.
Yeah. But I think Michigan will rally
They'll rally.
around his
Show up.
Yeah, around
Elite
him.
8. I'll give him Elite 8.
Yeah, bro. Hey, I'm giving Baylor the ship.
Give
this
Baylor the
year.
ship.
I like what I've seen in Baylor this year. Big 12 in the tournament, man.
Yeah.
I like Texas as well, but
Sessions.
like I said, I like Baylor more than Texas. So I'm gonna stick
Baylor.
to Baylor. Yeah, bro. And they've been coming with it. So
Okay.
that's our picks for the
I like
NCAA tournament. We'll see where we end up there.
Yeah.
Do you have any picks for the tournament?
I wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the top seeds, the 4 number 1 seeds, and then you can pick one.
Give them your stats, Jonas.
All right. So you got Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, and Illinois.
Gonzaga.
It is.
Nice. Hey, it is good to see Illinois back in that thing.
It
They're ranked
is.
number 1.
Since Darren Williams.
Yeah, Darren Williams, D. Brown.
D. Brown.
Man, D. Brown was the
D.
man.
Brown was
I
getting
always
it.
wonder
Was
what
flying.
happened to my guy,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. And then so we got some NFL news this week, man. Just a little bit, tapping back in. I think Bill Belichick was pretty upset with the way that Tom Brady just went out there and destroyed the rest of the league this past year without him.
Hey.
Tom Brady has more championships than the Patriots. I don't think that sits well with Bill Belichick.
Yep.
We got the little Luka. We got Luka, and I'm late, but I'm looking at the screen. And I shouldn't be doing that because it's a little late.
No, you're good.
But Belichick, man, he's been spending money,
Absolutely.
right? So he went out and he re-signed Cam,
Mm-hmm.
right? Got him a couple weapons on offense.
Yep.
Got old Bourne from San Fran. I don't know if we can call Aguilar
Aguilar
a weapon.
is a weapon.
He's like Edward
Don't get it
Scissorhands.
He is, bro. Aguilar is a weapon, bro.
He is a weapon.
Bro.
He is a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think he will.
Oh Nelson.
If he can catch that ball, if he's not
Ain't no
swatting
if.
that ball, boom. What? As a receiver, it's your job to catch, and Aguilar's got a no hands situation going on, right?
What Aguilar you been watching?
What are you talking about? That's why he's not in Philly anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he was
They
batting
have
balls
room.
down.
Okay. Anyways, who else they got?
But
They got some
Aguilar
tight
is an
ends.
animal. They got one tight end. They got
they got
Janu.
And Hunter Henry.
Oh, they did get Hunter Henry yesterday, right?
He went on the spree.
Oh, so see now they went back to the
They're going
Aaron
back.
Hernandez and Gronk days.
They're trying to reincarnate. They're trying to reincarnate.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna happen.
They got a big old lineman and a couple D. They got a linebacker and a DB.
And the DT.
Right.
Oh, they went in.
Yeah.
So what's the definition of insanity and being insane?
Repetition of the same thing.
Repetition of the same thing. This is not the same thing. Bill has recognized quick.
Oh, you talking about the
I gotta
Cowboys?
change up.
You talking about the Cowboys signing
Well,
Dak for 4
they're
years?
insane.
160
No,
160
I'm
million.
still talking about Bill. I thought
that
You-
insanity
you just-
thing was bringing the
Yeah,
Cowboys
you
into the
wounded.
situation.
You got PTSD, Cowboy PTSD.
Yeah, I do, man. At least I recognize it, though. I can get some counseling and get that fixed.
Look, hey, Big Bill, Sugar Daddy Bill, what they call it, Make It Rain Bill.
Yeah.
He has recognized really quick that he has to do things differently to win. And this is big. I think this is the second most money spent in free agency.
Did I see they signed Tyron Taylor too?
Who? No, Tyrod is in Houston.
He went to Houston?
He's in Houston.
Okay,
Yeah, they didn't bring
okay.
no. They're gonna get a quarterback in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either.
Yeah,
But,
but no, this is big time. But will the Patriots go to the playoffs with all this shenanigans?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they spend this money with Tom Brady when he was there?
They need it.
They spend it. I mean, but what sense does that make? What sense does that make? They had the money. obviously.
Well, he had to be.
They went out and bought a whole
He was going to be
starting
rolling.
lineup.
Huh?
They bought an entire offensive unit right
That's
there.
right. They hadn't lost. How many? This has been 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
When has that happened?
Yeah. It's been a while.
Exactly.
Since about 1999, 2001.
Precisely. He hadn't had to.
Yeah.
He hadn't had to.
Yeah.
What time he hasn't had to?
But now,
absolutely.
Those Ravens, though, that's a big loss.
That was Matthew Judon was a big loss. We lost in not that our pass rush was anything awesome anyway.
Yeah.
And then you lose the best of an average pass. Oh God.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in seeing what we do.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out. Eric DeCosta, I have faith in you, brother. I
Yeah.
love you. Please
show up and show
figure
out.
out the pass rush. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Man, it's like Bill was just out window shopping this year. He's like, let's put Cam back there. I'm just window shop. We can count this as the loss this year.
I can imagine it's like Cardi B going shopping.
He had his checklist. I want that guy.
Oh, you're good.
I want that guy.
Oh, I like your chin. You're cute. Come on.
Yeah, brother. There's a couple more pretty big signings in the NFL. I didn't do a graphic for these, but did you check out the Belly Bunch? Were you able to pull that up?
The Belly Bunch.
Oscar, were you able to pull that graphic up for me?
We got
It's
the
Belly.
Bunch.
It's Belly Bunch.
It's the Belly Bunch.
I spent a little time making it. I just want to make sure that people can see it.
You might have put the wrong graphic.
Oh.
It's the wrong graphic. It's in the NFL.
It's called Belly Bunch.
It's the Billy Bunch.
And it's this image that I'm showing right now.
Oh no!
Oh.
Well, check out the other images. It's on there.
We're
gonna go through
a
J.A. mishap situation right now.
We're gonna see that belly bunch.
We're gonna see that belly bunch.
How much work I put into the belly bunch?
Time in that bad boy.
Where is this belly?
I'm gonna see this belly bunch.
You know, it's like 9 squares. There's Luca.
It's 9 squares.
9 squares got belly in the middle.
All right.
Nope.
It's not in the NFL file.
I don't think you put it in these files.
Poot.
NFL file is that Luke is the Lamel.
You gotta be kidding me. That's all right. That's a J error right there.
Poor
Flag on the play.
Sorry.
Flag on the play. And I'm just I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it on our IG page.
That's a good.
Y'all go check out our IG page and you'll see the belly bunch. Yeah. You know, it's all good. At least do something with it. But anyway, man, that was a couple big signings. I don't know, man. Taysom Hill got that DAG money. Got that 4-year, $160 million extension with, what's the word?
The Aints.
No, not the Saints. I'm saying, what's the word in the contract?
It's voidable, baby.
Voidable. He's got
that's really it's really like a 1-year deal, by the way, just so you know.
4-year, $160 million voidable contract.
It sounds good. It looks good on paper.
Yeah, it looks great.
I would sign it. Would you sign that deal?
Probably not.
Not the 4-year,
$160 million?
You're not gonna sign? Okay.
Yeah, no, she said why
Too
not?
many millions. I don't know what to do with that.
He doesn't either, and he won't.
She rich in spirit.
And he don't get him.
I don't need the money.
That's basically a 1-year, $16 million deal from what I saw.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To fill out a cap space.
Yeah.
So
to find out. I think Jameis is in the best situation.
Yeah.
In that whole situation.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to win the starting job. And a decent year for him will get him broke off.
Oh, yeah. He'll get the rest of that $160 million.
He will. He'll void the 3 on him and move that over to Jameis. Yeah, exactly.
And then your boy Trent Williams out in San Francisco got paid.
Boomer Sooner.
6 years. Is he a boomer?
He's a boomer, bro.
Man, 6 years. He's boomer with a bad attitude, man. I like that guy a lot. He's nasty.
He's nasty.
He's nasty. He's a nasty O-line.
What most people don't know, I bet, like if you saw him on the basketball court, you would be you'd be like, man, who is this guy moving like this?
He's like 300-something pounds.
300-something. He can dunk.
What?
He can he got the crossover step back.
Are you kidding me?
He's fluid, man.
I gotta see this guy on the court.
Word,
He's
right?
fluid. Yeah. That's why he get paid the big bucks.
Water. Floor like water.
Yeah.
Like my boy Bruce Lee.
Water.
That's that Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Trent, that's why he got that money. Yeah, I gotta check him out. I just know
Congrats,
he's a very mean guy, you know?
Yeah, he got a highlight. He got a few highlights that's nasty.
I like it.
The football player in you,
yeah,
just gonna be like,
Yeah, that's who I want protecting me if I'm playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Give me that guy every day, all day.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's go ahead and use those other NBA graphics right now, Oscar.
Right.
You know, we'll start with the Luka watch, man.
Luka watch.
My boy Luka, he's still been out there balling. The Mavericks are slowly climbing the charts.
They trying.
When we started the
loss
Luka
to
watch,
Clippers
they were in the 10th spot. Now they're in the 8th seed. So.
They are. I don't know if he's gonna get the MVP. He gonna have to go on a run of like 40-point triple doubles to jump Embiid and LeBron.
Embiid and LeBron. You think LeBron's gonna get it? He's had that's a rough little stretch without AD, man.
It is. I mean, but
so how do you get MVP when?
Huh?
How do you get MVP when another top player
You
on
lead
your
your
team
team
goes
to
down and
the
you
top
get
seed.
losses?
If he leads them to the top seed, then they're gonna say, "Yo, he didn't even have Embiid." You look out west. There's Harden, Kyrie, those guys.
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo. Yeah, they have all their guys. Utah has their guys.
Did Philly beat?
Phoenix has their guys.
Did Philly beat Brooklyn when they played?
Philly did not beat Brooklyn.
See, I can't give it to Embiid then. Sorry.
Well, Embiid is having a hell of a year on a team that will finish in the top 4. Luka can have a hell of a year. If they do not finish in the top 4, he will not beat Embiid.
If you put LeBron on Embiid's team, are they beating Brooklyn?
Oh, that's tough.
Yes.
That's a good one. That's tough.
Yes. All that talent he's got over there now. Come on now. They
I don't
stacked
know,
up this
bro.
year. They stacked up this year.
Let me tell you something. Kyrie, so I watched the game last night. Versus New York. Which New York defense? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Bro, they're young and scrappy, and they're going to –
the Knicks?
To a couple years, a player, they're going to be be in the hunt.
Yeah.
But watching Kyrie and Harden cook is like watching poetry. Like,
yeah.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Harden is unbelievable. Like, just crazy vision, crazy control. Like,
awkward player ever to play the game of basketball.
It's great.
I didn't like Harden at first, but he's so awkward. I'm starting to like him now.
Awkward, but he
looks like me playing basketball. Only he's successful.
Yeah, but hey,
exactly.
He's got that footwork, man.
His footwork is insane.
Hey, that's Leonard Fournette on the court, dog.
Yeah, Leonard Harden. That's
man.
Brothers.
They are brothers, bro. They're happy.
We're happy every single color.
Yeah, bro.
Give me a high five.
Yeah, bro. No, that's they're fun to watch, man. But I don't know. I can't get with Embiid just yet.
Not just yet.
Nah, he reminds me of Antetokounmpo. Like almost great, but not great.
But MVP is about production and being on a pretty good team.
But he's on a great team with a lot of great players.
Right, but he's producing the most on a great team with a lot of great, which LeBron has done, which Steph did, Luka's doing it. Russell Westbrook did it actually on not a great team, which was his number's insane. Yeah, but
anybody averaging deserves the MVP regardless.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
So if Luka will have to go on some insane run of 40-point triple doubles to really jump back up into the lead of MVP.
Yeah. Well, his rebounds are going up, his assists are going up, his points have gone down slightly. Mm-hmm. But he's out there balling, man, every week. You can count on Luka to put up 20, 25, 28 a night.
Hey, what if Luka trained with Ray? What if he went to Olympic Fit?
Oh, man. Hey, he needs to go out there. Luka, go holler at my boy Ray. Xavier.
Hey,
get some
and go eat some of his ice cream. And next time you're down in Alabama, and get right, man, because you'll get that MVP soon after, right? But also LaMelo Ball. We're also watching LaMelo Ball. You've been watching that guy?
Clearly.
Hey, Charlotte's at number 6 now.
He's special,
and they have great energy. Yeah, they're gonna upset somebody in the playoffs. If Philly goes against Charlotte in the playoffs, might be upset.
Go 7.
Hollow man. That's who Embiid is to me. He's hollow man. He's hollow man.
He's hollow man.
Hollow man. Not enough heart. Not enough guts.
Oh, he's the tin man.
He's got every tool.
He's the tin man.
Got every tool in the shed.
And it's in the heart.
Is it?
Yeah. Hollow man.
I give you that.
He cried when
baby.
LeBron put him on the booty.
7'2", legit baby.
But he's 25, 26. You can't be that old 4 or 5 years in the league and be baby.
In 2020, you can. Apparently.
It's hollow man.
He's a baby. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Like I don't cut for the babies of the game.
Yeah.
Like that. Just whining. He's a whiner, offended about everything, and so on and so on.
Faking injuries.
Soft. I would say. Like he's soft. But I'm giving him the bit. I mean, as has everybody. He's produced.
Yeah.
And it's like for a moment he's being an actor. Like he's been a tough guy.
Yeah.
But he's acting. We know Jamie Kennedy. Like Malibu's the most wanted is happening right now.
Yeah.
But I like it because I like tough guys, even if I know underneath it all.
Yeah, it's wax on, wax off.
There's not much going
on.
It's
not real. That's not authentic. That is not you, Joel.
It's not. But that's going to lead him to MVP.
Man, that's crazy. I don't know how. I wouldn't pick him for my MVP, but, that's just me.
Lucky for him, you're not voting.
Yeah, lucky for him. Lucky for him. But my guy LaMelo Ball, he can get it over Joel. He has rallied a pretty weak team.
I like LaMelo.
To a lot of wins, making him look really good out there, and he's a fun guy to watch, bro. Yeah. They're winning. They are winning.
He got a confidence about him too. That has made me a believer.
When you can bring a team up, that doesn't have all these superstars around you, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. A whole city up.
Yeah.
And they got the best announcers in the NBA. I don't know if you've heard the announcers over there. But those dudes are hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
That's interesting.
They're hilarious. They got the best announcers. Jordan's got something special out there. He's putting on the show for his people. I'll tell you that much.
He pulling a Cuban?
Hey, Jordan has something special going on in Charlotte right now. Oh, and they got some great announcers, bro. Great one-liners.
Yeah.
Like, those guys are great.
Okay.
Those guys are great. Got to check them out sometime. Yeah.
Get on they be on the WGN. No, that was Chicago.
Chicago. Oh, shot. Those good days, man.
The WGN?
Jock Jams. Playlist number 1. Yeah, bro. Chicago Bulls coming out. But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this show, man. That's our sports for the week. If we missed something, it's all good. We'll probably catch it next week, But man, Paula, this was great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Please.
I hope you had a good time.
Of course. I got to learn so many new things.
You were educating us, I know for a fact.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so this was great, man. I couldn't have expected to go any better.
Yeah.
But
nobody knew
that put this stuff into play because it's real and it's happening right now. It's not a game. This is your life we're talking about. If you go to France, you are data. I'm just saying. But we'll see y'all next week. Jonas, you don't gotta look. If you're in Europe, you're considered data, right? Isn't that the point you made?
Whereas here, your data's up for grabs.
Up for grabs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. I just kind of. That's my summary for the day. But yeah,
no taking.
Yeah, taking. I told you I took some notes right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see y'all next week around 12-ish. Man, enjoyed it. Peace.
Hey Ross, sauce it up. Whoa. I've been feeling the love, I've been feeling the vibe. I hope they can feel all the passion I put in it, and you see it in my eyes. Yeah, I'm coming up, you see the rise. So come out and play. I don't see the need to hide. I feel like I'm the last man standing.